how's everyone doing? This is your coach, Karen Oliver, live with the Monday check in. You all know we get started early in the mornings on Monday. As I announced on last week, we have changed the Thursday therapy um, conversations to Saturday. Mornings around 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. ish. Thursday, as you all know, I have a full day, so we had to move the Thursday therapy sessions, their conversations to Saturday morning. And so I hope you all are having a great week. Well, a great morning thus far. This is the beginning of a new week. Um, and I hope your Monday morning is going well so far. I am Eastern time, so it is 8:53 a.m. my time. Whatever part of the world you are tuning in from or listening in from, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is our Monday check-in on the live podcast. We talked about committing to your season. We dived into committing to your season. Um, I know that we have been talking about as well as just knowing your worth, knowing yourself. We have a few topics that we are covering, discussing real connections. We're talking about real connections and what that means. And as we were on the podcast on this past Saturday, we was on there this past Saturday morning again. It kind of connected with our therapy conversations. That's a topic that we're going to be talking about, committing to your season. So check out that clip from Saturday morning if you have not heard it. But we're definitely going to go in detail about just committing to your season and committing um, to yourself, committing to your purpose. And there is a scripture that I read. I am a believer, so I do quiet times. I do my meditation times, and there was a scripture that I read. I want to share with you all on this morning, and I'm just going to pull it up right quick. And it comes from Proverbs 19:21, from the book of Proverbs 19:21, and it reads, "There are many devices in a man's heart, nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord that shall stand." Meaning that, we can make up in our minds all day what we want to do. We can make up in our minds, what time we're going to do something, how we're going to do it, what time we're going to do it, when we're going to do it, the people that's going to be involved, things that are going to be involved. But it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. As all of you may know, that I am a life purpose coach, and how I fell on my purpose was not by accident. My purpose was always in front of me all along. I was just like, hey, I just want to do what I want to do. I'm just going to do this as a side conversation. I'm going to do this as a side gig. But no, it was my purpose. It was my purpose to become a coach. And now I'm in college for family and marriage counseling. I'm studying sociology, and then I will go into family counseling. And that's connected to my purpose, because I wanted to do another extensive layer that's outside of coaching, because we know that there's coaches, there's therapists, there's mental counselors, and so forth. And so I wanted to go into that field, and it was connected to my purpose. Not that it was my choice to go back to college, but I knew that it was connected to me. It was a vision and a dream that I had years ago. And even though I had been in college off and on since 2009, and I've had certificates, I've had diplomas, you all, but I wasn't really connected to I wasn't connected to my purpose like I was supposed to. And the fact that I'm back at a university, I'm actually on campus because I have day classes. I only have one class online, so I have two classes that are day classes. And I have classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm like, I remember having a vision that I was going back to school, and I was like, and I was actually on campus, and this was years ago, before I even started diving into, get into my healthcare degree or anything like that. Before, this was like probably a couple years after high school, and I was like, what? But it's kind of funny how things come into fruition, and how your purpose meets up with you at the right time. And my purpose was always in front of me. And so, as I was saying, and this scripture speaks for itself, as I was saying, that you can do whatever you want to do. You can make up whatever time you're trying to achieve. You can make up your own timeline, but it's the Lord's purpose that prevails. And that's why, I was so passionate about life purpose coaching, because no matter how no matter how many times I tried to stay away from going back to college, or just meeting people and talking to people, and just serving the it was something that I was doing every day. It was something that was already instilled in me, and so I knew that that was my purpose. And so when I started going full force, and the podcast, and I started developing a podcast. I started developing, just different resources to my brand. I defined my brand and knew what my brand was. I knew who I wanted to serve. I knew who I wanted to help. I knew the things that I had been through and the things that I had came out of, and I knew that it was a passion of mine to just step into that and do it. And so I knew that it was the Lord's purpose for my plans to do this, for His plans to do this. And not only He made sure that I had the zeal and the passion to do it, He made sure that I was at a place where I was healed mentally, before going on and helping someone else. And you all know that, come on here, that I serve women. Um, and like I said, it's a back. I mean, I have a story, and some of you have heard my story, some of you haven't. And I did a documentary on the podcast, which is there. I've talked about it on live platforms of how I stepped into my role. I still work a 9 to 5. I still work in healthcare. I'm actually um, quality trainer, and it's something that I'm trying to get out of, because when I say it's something I'm trying to get out of at the right time, not on my time, but at the right time, because um, I still have my own schedule, but I still have to commit to the company schedule, because I'm still working a 9 to 5 outside of college and outside of my coaching business and skincare line. So I've made a declaration, Lord, when it is the right time and when it's the right um, pivot point, remove me from the corporate job, because it's my desire to have my complete to make my complete full schedule. And I know there's a lot of us that still work outside. Right now, I'm having to work part time, at my corporate job, because of my purpose of going back to college. And I know it's connected to my purpose, so that comes first. And I have to trust on the Lord for everything else. That's it. Your purpose is number one. Your purpose will meet you when you define who you are, when you define, you know, your love and your passion and who you want to serve, because it's not about you, it's about your purpose and who you want to serve. Um, but I don't want to talk all this morning just about me. I just wanted to do a recap and just wanted to share that scripture with you all, because we can make so many plans on our own, and we can think that we can, oh, look, this going to happen on this time, and this going to do this. But no, it is not our plans that prevails. It is the Lord's plans that prevails. And so I'm very excited about my season, and I'm excited about where I'm at. And I want to make sure that I'm staying focused. And that's why I wanted us to talk about committing to your season. Because as I explained on the live podcast on Saturday morning, and we were also live in the Wisdom community when we recorded, that um, sometimes you're going to have to say no to people that are close to you. Sometimes you're going to have to say no to things that you used to do, because you need to stay committed to your purpose. It's imperative and it's important that you stay committed to your season, the season that you're in. You can't get things done. You can't get things done and you can't accomplish things until you commit to until you commit to your season. You have to stay, in order enough to stay in your season and to get through that season, you have to stay committed to your season, because you can't get through this season to the next season or to the next level if you're not committed to you. If you're doing everything else for everybody else and running and making yourself available for everything else besides your purpose, and then that means your purpose is failing and your season is not moving. The season that you're in is not moving because you are committing yourself to everybody else's season and everybody else's purpose, and you do not want to do that. And so I think it's important for us to dive into that on the podcast, even going into September. Actually, we will be talking about committing to your season full force in September, since we're at the end of the month of August. And so we want to make sure that we continue the other conversations that we've been having and answer any questions that you all may have. I think it's important. It's important that we know what we have to do. And like I said, that means that may upset some other people. That may hurt some other people, but we have to do it because we have to nurture our purpose at heart, and we have to nurture our purpose at hand, because we can't leave it standing dormant. Um, I created a presentation and a master class about um, staying committed to your purpose. I did a presentation about nurturing your purpose, your passion. I get in depth about purpose and why it's so important, why it's so rooted and grounded in you. And so that is something that we all need to get a handle on, and we need to understand. A lot of us don't understand, and a lot of us don't begin to know where we're at. And we have to do the first steps first so we can know who we are and be identified of where our purpose and why our purpose is connected to us. It's important. And so, you all, we would definitely be talking about committing to your season full force in September. We did an opening of talking about committing to your season Saturday morning on the live podcast. And so, you know, again, you all, I always open up the floor. Um, you can be my guest if you have any questions or just any conversations that you want to discuss concerning what I have just talked about, or whatever concerning committing to your season, committing to the cause. Um, it's about you and your purpose, and you have to check in on you, and that's why we do Monday check-ins, because you have to make sure you're checking in on you. You got to make sure that things that need to be done and need to be handled, it needs to be handled by you. We can't be lacking in our purpose in any way. So again, like I said, there's a lot of things that we may not be able to do. There's a lot of things that we may not be able to attend, because it is important to commit to your season only, um, your purpose. Only only you can define you. And so, you all, this is our Monday check-ins, and just sharing some advice and some encouragement for you all that has encouraged me on this morning. If you would like to be my guest and join on the Wisdom Live community, feel free to do so. And we're also live on YouTube and LinkedIn Live this morning. You all, I had a privilege of talking to Dr. Robert and Dr. Rao in July, and that is uploaded on all podcast platforms. If you wasn't able to come in on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Wisdom to hear Dr. Robert and Dr. Rao, where we were talking about coaches versus therapists, feel free to go to the podcast link, and you will be able to hear the conversations that we had. It was definitely needed, and it was definitely good. Um, Other than that, you all, if you do not have any questions for me, just you can leave your feedback at a later time. You can also message. It's all my wisdom followers. You can message now in the message app and on YouTube Live and LinkedIn. You know how to message me and reach me. So I hope you all have a good rest of your day. We will not be checking in Thursday again. We will be checking in Saturday morning. But so happens if I get um, a little time, we will see how it flows. But right now, we have changed it to Saturday mornings. So I hope you all have a great Monday, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. Take care.